finally joining you in February. We made it all the way through the longest month of the year, and I swear it's a conspiracy. Apparently, it's only 31 days long, January, right? But when you include Christmas, New Year, all the festivities and things like that, somehow it feels about 11 times longer. And I'm blaming it on the aliens, if I'm completely honest with you, because I have no other explanation for how 31 days, when it's any other point in the year, feels fine. You can deal with it. But when in January, it just feels so long. And finally, we're into February and on the way out of the darkest parts of the year and staying dark. Let's stick with Morrissey and Suede Head, and we'll find out what you were doing, well, about a week ago when we were doing all the Scottish stuff. Apparently, you've been doing more Scottish things. We'll share after this. It's a wee natter. Thanks for joining me this fine Sunday evening. Hope you're having a good one. And unfortunately, Jenny's not with me today, and it's just one of these things that just didn't work out. But one of these things that you can do, get involved and make happen, is tip the show. It's not something we genuinely ask for, but if you do give money to the show, it does help keep us on air, and it also helps keep our cat Sooty well endowed in treats. And a couple of you have been tipping the show, including PD31 Cat, saying in-block blessings. And I'll be honest with you, I had to look that up, and it's something to do with the fact it's the 1st and 2nd of February, and you're starting to get the first sprouts of spring. I mean, there's snowdrops out there. There are some trees that in previous years would have lost all their leaves. They're still bright green at the moment. It's all a bit weird and all a bit strange. Sandra Owens also tipped the show as well. And thank you both, and thank you very much if you do support that show that way. But you don't have to pay to play. You can get involved for free. And if you remember, roughly a week ago, in fact, exactly a week ago, it was Burns Night, and we were celebrating the very best of Scotland. I thought I'd ask you, what is the most Scottish thing you've ever done? And a few of you have been in touch, including Hillary, saying the most Scottish thing I've ever done is high tea. Oh, wow. I'll be honest with you, it's been a long, long time since I've heard the term high tea, which is like afternoon tea, but you have a cooked meal with it. The trick is not to eat all day and then eat it all. Yeah. If you've ever gone for an afternoon tea or anything like that, there's always far more cakes and food than you plan for. And you sit there going, how do I eat all this? You find some space, but you're just staring at it going, this is too much. How are we going to get this down? Meryl also in touch saying, I think the most Scottish thing I've ever done is Scottish dancing. Well, I could go on a rant about Scottish dancing. Almost every kid that grew up in Scotland has had to do Scottish Highland dancing at some point in the curriculum. The problem is there's always a mismatch between number of boys and number of girls, and I think I've learned all the girls' parts off the back of it. I'm not sure how useful that is, but anyway. Also saying haggis as well when staying up in Scotland. Also had high tea at bed and breakfast with my mum. There you go. Yeah, getting into on the food act again. Emma saying I got the honour roll of playing Robbie Burns' wife, Jean Armour, in the college for Burns Day. Oh, didn't know you were an actor. Well, we're learning there, aren't we? Angel Tubbsy, Mummy and Daddy got married in Gretna in 2006. Neither of them were age 16, were they? Because that used to be a thing, wasn't it? The whole, if you were quite young, you'd go and get married in Gretna Green because you could do it before you were of age in England. I don't think that's a thing anymore, but that was the whole tradition around it, wasn't it? And it was on the Scottish-English border. Yep. There's only two then. Live with my previous parents. There you go. Kate, the most Scottish thing I've ever done is eat haggis. Yes, haggis is, honestly, it's one of those foods, like any delicacy, where when somebody explains what it is, you go, ugh, I'm not touching that. But if I just told you it's spicy meat and gave it to you, you'd eat it no problem. It's one of those things. Lorraine saying, my first visit to Scotland, we were piped into our evening dinner. That's proper touristy, that. That's how you know whether you're a tourist or a native in Scotland. Because if you're a tourist, you go, oh, lovely bagpipes and all that. If you're a native, you sit there going, oh, not them again. Can they not find another street corner? Patricia's saying the most Scottish thing I did was marry my husband who's from Glasgow. Yeah, that counts as Scottish, I guess, you know. But then I am from the East Coast, so I do have to look down on those from the West Coast. It's just part of how it works. Louise saying the most Scottish thing I've ever done was 4 loads of washing on a full day of sunshine. Yeah, there's not many of those when you're in Scotland. And on either coast, you take the good days and you get your laundry done. And Deirdre saying, back in my junior school days in the 1950s, I remember singing 2 Scottish songs, one of them being Loch Lomond. and the other being The Road to the Isles. I visited beautiful Loch Lomond in July 1965. Hope to return again one day. It's a beautiful place. Seriously, if you're not gone, go on. The most Scottish thing I've ever done was purchase a skirt in Edinburgh made with the hunting Cameron tartan. And this is the funny thing. If you're an American that claims to be from Scotland because you know your great granny it came from Scotland, or you're an English person visiting Scotland or something like that, you will know what your tartan is, and you'll go, that's the one that I want for my kilt or whatever it is. If you're an actual true Scotsman, not a clue, if I'm honest with you. I couldn't tell you which tartan I'm supposed to wear, and I've worn it before. I'll be honest with you, I was almost about to say new music from Craig David there. Yeah, it was new music about 9 years ago. Heartline on a wee natter where I've just seen one last sneaky message about the most Scottish thing you've ever done popping in from Rachel Sambuco saying, I had homemade tablet round Mrs. Mac's house. I am jealous. And if you don't know what tablet is, it is not, don't think Train Spotting. There's not junkies and tracks and things like that. It is basically butter and sugar all baked into a thing. It is the most gloriously sweet thing you've ever tasted in your life. Free diabetes with every purchase, I'll be honest with you. But if you put some anywhere near me, it's going to disappear. It is that good tablet. If you've not had tablet, do go have some proper Scottish tablet at some point in your life. It is weird, it's strange, it can be a bit gritty, but it's wonderful. Do give it a shot. And if you're thinking about things to give a shot, then I do have to mention a certain gentleman who's very big in the news at the moment. I don't know if you saw the most recent press cutting or the little video that's doing the rounds of Donald Trump when he's giving a press conference. I can't even remember what the press conference was about now, but he had the people around him. He was doing his little speech thing, and then a wonderful little noise is made, and suddenly everyone is vacated out of the room. Make your own assumptions up about what happened after that. But my reason for bringing Trump up is not because of that fine, funny moment. The leader of the free world is having some interesting troubles, and he's had them for many years, apparently. No. We're not concentrating on that. We're concentrating on the fact that Melania has released a movie about her own life or something like that. I don't know. Have you managed to see the new Melania movie? Yeah, I've genuinely not seen it at all. Apparently, some cinemas have struggled to sell a single seat from what I'm hearing to that. And one review I saw for the movie said, apparently it's so good, if they showed it on a plane, everyone would walk out. And if a movie's that good, you know what? I'll wait for it to appear on TV in about 20 years' time. And that's what I'll do. But knowing that movie is probably not the greatest cinematic experience in the world, it got me wondering, what would you advise people not to see or do? Because we all have these TV shows or things that we like to do or places we like to go that we recommend to friends and go, yeah, you need to do that. You need to see it. You need to do all that sort of stuff. What are the things you go, actually, no, don't bother with that. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your money on that. I'd love to hear those from you. For me, if I had to go down the movie route, I'm going to be controversial and say Children of Men. I was brought along to it without warning, went out with a bunch of mates, ended up seeing Children of Men, and it was the most excruciating couple of hours in a very hot cinema on the east coast of Scotland that I've ever had. It just didn't gel with me. I know some people love it and think it's amazing cinematic greatness. To me, it was, practically 2 hours of boredom. So what is the thing that you would advise people not to see or do? Do get in touch. Best way to do it is on the phone, call, text, or WhatsApp. My number is 07367 85 85 47. That's 07367 85 85 47. You can also get on the live chat, and I'm sure you can send a carrier pigeon our way as well. Or if you want to make it more challenging, you could turn it into a nice wee riddle like this guy called Nick Kershaw. And he's got a wonderful wee song from the 80s for you. I never figured out what a secret smile was. There we go. Semisonic on a wee natter where I'm asking you about not the TV shows and films and places and restaurants that you recommend, but the ones you go, no, don't waste your time, don't waste your money on that. Sandra Owens has been in touch saying the last film I saw was The Coral, written by Alan Bennett. Alan Bennett's one of those names, right, I've heard over and over, you hear them referred to culturally, but I'm like, I've never actually seen or heard anything Alan Bennett. I've heard mention of Alan Bennett, never actually consumed any Alan Bennett material. Or if I have, it's inadvertently. Anyway, Sandra's saying it had bad reviews, but I enjoyed it and would recommend it. There you go. If you're looking for an option, that is Coral by Alan Bennett. While you might be gagging for a holiday, I hate to break it to you, but this is not the place you win big prizes. You just have big amounts of fun. And if you're into deep, do remember you just have to inflate your life vest. Just don't do it before you leave the aircraft. I don't want to shatter the illusion that this show is planned within an inch of its life, but that's another song about going on holiday, maybe. It certainly got that holiday vibe to it. It wasn't planned. It just happened that way. Fly Away from Lenny Kravitz on a Wee Natter. And talking about, well, holiday and even flying, how's your algorithm for you nowadays? You know, when you go on social media, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or whatever it is you happen to go on, any of these social media platforms, you have the almighty algorithm determining, here's the things that you'd be interested in. And for some reason, one thing that popped up on my algorithm was a warning from the EU Space and Surveillance Tracking Service warning me that there'd be low-flying space objects in my area. How tall does that algorithm think I am? I'm only 6'4". Admittedly, I'm a tall lad, but you don't see much space junk flying at 6'4" off the ground. I'm not that, I'm not ducking for aircraft or anything like that. I don't think the AI and the almighty algorithm has quite figured it all out. If it's making that sort of mistake now, is it? Daniel Powder's having a bad day on a Wee Natter, where we're chatting about the almighty algorithm of social media. Sandro is saying they seem to be favouring MSM apparently. Not to be confused with MSN, like the old chat messenger thing. We're talking about mainstream media. And I've got to be a little bit careful because my day job is mainstream media. I'm not on it. I support the mainstream media. So I've got to be careful. I can't be taking pot shots at the mainstream media, but if the algorithms didn't back MSM quite so well, I would be ruling the universe as part of the Wee Natter clan. You'd be part of it as well, but, we just can't tickle the algorithm the right way. And also pointing out, the Grammys are on tonight. Indeed, they are on tonight. And the big question is, will Milli Vanilli win the Grammy that they got taken off of them in the past? So they'll go from 0 Grammys to 1 Grammy to 0 back to 1. Will that happen? I don't know. But if it does, it'll be for a podcast that they've made about how they mimed on their records. And it's just totally, utterly bonkers story. I wish it was making up, genuinely. It's the whole story about how they ended up in that position where they then got the Grammy taken off them because they'd been miming to somebody else's vocals. And they're going to get possibly getting a Grammy for talking about it. It's utterly bizarre, but that's the modern world for you. Who knows what's going to happen with these awards? Because it's kind of funny. I don't know if you've ever been to industry awards or anything like that, but if you've ever been to industry awards in the industry you're in, you'll know that they're absolutely bonkers. Never mind the big ones. And I'll withhold my opinions at that point. And I'll withhold my other opinion that I might have about something rather controversial that I'm definitely going to talk to you about after this one from Wham. It's the band that's named after a type of washing machine. Toploader, Dancing in the Moonlight. Apparently it's nothing to do with washing machines. Apparently it's to do with, well, something I'm not supposed to talk about on the radio. But there you go. It's a far cooler name than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was to do with washing machines. Maybe I'm a bit weird and disconnected. And I was going to say something controversial, right? And it's to do with pubs. When's the last time you went down the pub? I bet it wasn't right now. I bet you're not sitting there listening to this show while you're enjoying a pint down at the pub. Well, apparently, some publicans are thinking it's ridiculous and getting bemused because people are standing in queues rather than along the bar when they're waiting to be served. Now, it's got me thinking, of all the things in the world to be worried about, is it really a big deal You know, if you're in the pub, and I know the normal thing is to stand along the bar, not in a queue, but publicans are getting upset because people are standing in the queue. Is it really a thing to get upset when certain pubs, in fact, a lot of them nowadays, are pushing us to order to the table on our phones rather than standing up and going to the bar in the first place? I almost feel like I need to say make your mind up on that one. And talking about make your mind up, the Grammy people have probably made their mind up about who the winners are from the nominations. And the reason I touch on the Grammy stuff again is talking after midnight saying, this may be a first for me. I haven't heard any of the songs nominated for Song of the Year, putting it down to my age, but Willie Nelson is up for 2 awards, so I've got some interest in hoping he wins at least. Well, if you've not heard of any of the songs, I don't have all of the songs that have been nominated, but I do have a few of them, including this one from the K-pop Demon Hunters. It's from a kiddies movie. That's where it comes from. That's not the important bit. It's a ridiculously catchy wee pop song from a group that's made up called Huntrix, and the song is called Golden, and it's a nominee.
I was a ghost.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A wee natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
Indeed, it's time for the quiz that is so cerebral it consists of just one question. It's so high budget, the prize consists of if you get the answer right or if you're a bit more like me. And this week we are borrowing our question from the 1980s pack of the Trivial Pursuit mini pack quiz thing that I found on the internet. I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of Trivial Pursuit questions. No, it's its own separate thing. I'm an idiot. I ordered the wrong thing on the internet, but we get to have fun with it. Anyway, 1980s question. Which 1989 Billy Joel song mentions Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate and punk rock? I have to be careful how I say that, because if I start singing it, it gives it away. So which 1989 Billy Joel song mentions a moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate and punk rock? If you think you know, you have to tell me. You have to get in touch. Otherwise, I can't give you your very own. Or the only way you'll get is to get in touch. Best way to do it, call, text or WhatsApp. My number is 07367 85 85 47. That's 07367 85 85 47. Is it just me, or are the lyrics completely bonkers on that one? I just want you back, want you back, want you back as brood. Yeah, it makes no sense to me either.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A wee natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
How you doing? Our wee question where we ask which 1989 Billy Joel song mentions Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate and punk rock. And a few of you taking a punt at that, including Talking After Midnight with, well done, the correct answer, Anel76, spot on. BG31 Cat admitting I had to sing that a bit. Yeah, I almost get into singing, which gives it away as well, with correct answer. And Daniel Leferi with correct answer as well. If you want your very own ding-a-ling, you just have to tell me which 1989 Billy Joel song mentions Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate and punk rock. The only catch is, if you want your very own, or even you need to get it in by the end of this one from Coldplay, is Viva La Vida. And who doesn't love a bit of kettle drum on a Sunday evening? Go on, admit it, you're a bit of a sucker for kettle drums as well, aren't you? Viva La Vida, or Def and All His Friends. That's the name of the album. That's also the name of the song from Coldplay. And talking about cold, apparently the Winter Olympics start on the 6th. I was just seeing that apparently they're being held in Italy, which you're thinking, oh, that's a warm country. How does that make sense? And then you remember there's a whole bunch of mountains with snow on the top of them at the northern end of Italy.
The Super Shonky Sunday Quiz.
A wee natter with Jenny and Marc Steele.
Where I'm asking which 1989 Billy Joel song mentions Moonshot, Woodstock, Watergate and punk rock. I see you started singing it as well. I have to hold myself back. I'm struggling. You're doing quite well. Although admittedly you have started singing, so we're both struggling a bit here. And I've just had a message come in last minute from Vicky saying, "Hi Mark, I think it might be Weed in the Start the Fire." From Vicky listening on Bull Radio. Yeah, well done, Vicky. You got it spot on. And as ever, when we do one of these with a musical answer, we do have to play the song. So this is indeed Billy Joel and We Didn't Start the Fire. And then after that, we're going to be sharing a bit of cybersecurity news, which I know it sounds a bit technical, but no, but it actually It's good news involving artificial intelligence. I'll explain all after Billy Joel when check in with Ava Max as well. Ava Max, Sweet But Psycho before that. Billy Joel, and we didn't start the fire. That's what I'm going to claim. That's what I'm going to say in court. That is going to be my story. It's a wee natter. I'm Mark. I'm with you. It's Sunday evening. Hopefully you're having a good one and we're helping stave off the Sunday scaries. But I hate to bring something a bit scary to you, especially as we're not usually your source for cybersecurity news, but I did hear the other day that artificial intelligence has taken over a huge amount of the IT industry, but apparently it has recently been taken over the job of writing the viruses and malware that you get in those emails that you're not supposed to click on. Yeah, apparently the AI is going to be has already started doing some of those. So nice to know that even the criminals will be seeing their jobs going to the robots. It won't just be us good people, it'll be the bad people as well. And I'm going to take that as a bit of joy and brilliance as we head into the crazy, crazy world and the crazy, crazy nights of Kiss on a Wee Natter. In the words of PG-31 Cat, love this. Where else is going to be rocking out to Chris and Crazy Crazy Nights at 20 to 9 on a Sunday evening as we try to stave off the Sunday scaries. Not many other places are there. It's a Wee Natter. I'm Mark, looking after things. Hope you're having a fantastic Sunday evening so far. And this is going to sound a bit of a strange one, but I want to chat with you about a little fact I learned to do with dictionaries. No, don't worry. It's not an academic thing, but it's just a little weird fact that popped up in a podcast I was listening to the other day. I started going, of course that's a thing. It makes sense. Once you heard it was described. But if I mention it in passing, you go, what are you on about? Find out what I'm on about after this one from Free LW. It's no more, baby. I'm a do right. Well, I'm going to do right by you. That's what I'm going to claim anyway. We'll see how it plays out. I'm hoping that this little fact I learned about dictionaries the other day blows your mind as much as what it blows my mind. But think back to days before computers were a big deal and a big thing. So going way, way, way back in time, how would you organise all the words that you're going to put into a dictionary? You'd probably put them in index cards, wouldn't you? And you'd put them on little drawers and you keep them all organised. And if anyone got them all mixed up, it'd be the end of the world because it'd be a ridiculous amount of work to put them back in order. Well, you might be thinking, okay, you got the index cards for, A, B, C, D, all that sort of stuff. One dictionary in the US also did a set of index cards with the words backwards. Now, why do you think they would need that? It doesn't make any sense till somebody points out that that's how they do things like rhyming dictionaries or finding all the words that end in ing and things like that. And then you go, oh, it makes a lot of sense. I bet it was a lot of work, very analogue and very much of the era throwing back, it must be 100 plus years ago now. Nowadays, we just get a computer to do it. You wouldn't sit there doing it all manually, not even typewritten, not written out by hand either. But it's kind of amazing when you look back at how we did things, maybe not in the distant past, but even in the sort of reasonably recent past where you didn't have all the magic modern technology you have nowadays. Hey, it's amazing, isn't it? So it turns out if dating apps aren't working for you, what you could do instead is write a pop song. Who knew that would work? Ray, where is my husband on a Wee Natter? Unfortunately, that's about it for the show this week. But you do have the opportunity to catch up on demand or on podcast on every platform under the sun. Look for a Wee Natter. And if you're looking specifically for this episode, the title that sticks in my mind, I think we're going to have to go with it. I just can't think of anything better. Better than the Melania movie, ? And I'll leave that question up to you to answer. And if you think the answer is indeed yes, do share the show with your friends. Otherwise, well, hopefully see you same place, same time, same place next week.